Okay, welcome to Abundance. This is episode 3, and I'm taking a hard tangent because I made a major discovery, I believe. On your screen here, you see the principles of holography, uh, and this is an amazing way to store data inside of crystal, glass, or crystals. Right now, the way we do it is on a film, but my discovery was from one of the old engineering magazines. I found this device called a Pyrheliometer, and we have these today. Where are they? Oh, you can see it here, and it just has like some CCD to track the sun and how much irradiance, solar radiation is coming off. And that's what this is described as doing. But no, I believe this was 100% was creating burning holographic data into some sort of crystal substance. I mean, it could have been glass, but something inside of this center spherical chamber. And so this is huge because it means we could have remnants of all of our of some of our old lost history, our lost tech stored in it could just be a shard if it's crystal, because the way that holographic data is stored. Let me show you uh, how we how we're doing it today. This is from Microsoft.
So how does holographic data storage work? In order to record a hologram, we encode data into a 2D image using a spatial light modulator. This is very similar to a cell phone screen. We then combine that beam with a reference beam inside the lithium niobate crystal, and the data is encoded as the interference pattern. We can record multiple beams simply by changing the angle of this reference beam using a method. That allows us to record many data sets in the same volume. To read out the data, we simply use a reference beam at an angle designed to select the page we want, and that recreates the original data page which we capture on a camera. We can read out different pages simply by changing the angle of this reference beam. The great thing about holographic storage is we can then move to other locations in the crystal to write more data. The crystal can be completely erased using UV light, and then
So that's a property of this specific type of crystal. I know that gamma radiation is used to clarify other gemstones today, and one of the ancient sources of gamma radiation was radium. And you'll find, if you've looked at old history or uh, old tech, there was all kinds of stuff with radium. So I believe that was related to the crystal clarifying and theoretically wiping out the data that's been holographically stored on, say, something like a diamond or a sapphire or something like that. Um, so we have today, it's petabytes and petabytes of storage that uh, that they're theorizing can be stored. Um, Save data and the planet. Yeah, so if you have massive data storage needs, crystal would be the way to go. And we had it. This device is from the 1800s in the engineering magazine. I'll show you in a minute. It's just unbelievable. This is just holograms. And I knew there was stuff related to crystals in Lost Tech because I had it in my list. Because I know quartz crystals with forget the process, but they generate radio frequencies. That's a that's from Star Wars. Okay, let me show you the actual reference here. So this was from the von Nostrand's magazine. I'll provide the source, but I was looking, just randomly looking at this article, and it's about the lunar surface and the temperature, and this device has nothing to do with the majority of the article, the contents. Let's read it here. The Pyrheliometer. So this was to show the true intensity of the fire in the sun's rays. So the cutout here is the only image I have of this device. And what's not shown is these reflectors. You have the sun rays coming in here, but this what's coming into and then bouncing off of these reflectors would be what you an object. It could be tag. It could be anything, and that's what you're going to be capturing and burning in this image in this chamber some way. I'm 100% sure of this. It means that people have jewelry boxes. If they can trace back the jewelry, the crystal, whatever gemstones, back to the 1800s or earlier, it could very well be that there is holographic data stored in those gemstones, and you only need a tiny shard if the whole gemstone was burned with the image. Only a tiny shard, as long as you have the right waveform of light to recreate the image. Now, let's keep reading here. So the top of the cylindrical chamber is provided with 3 circular perforations covered by a thin crystal, carefully ground and polished. So they have the sunlight coming in here, and the crystal is aligning the light beams, making a coherent waveforms, which is needed to for the whole process, so that these interference patterns work correctly, I guess. So we've got So the other thing too is that they're saying that this was used because there's a thermometer, that this was used to just measure like some sort of heat coming, like radiation coming off the sun. But the thermometer was there just to prep your chamber. You were dialing it into a specific temperature. Because listen, we have the reflector. Focus coincides with the center of the chamber here. Bulb. There's a this these lines are for water, and the outside of the spherical glass chamber has this water that can be circulated to cool it even more, to keep I guess a more constant temp. So it was set on a substantial table for these experiments that they ran, and it faces the sun at right angles. There was a method for exhausting the air from the chamber, so you could have a vacuum or not. You had movable shades, so by means which you could quickly cut off the sun's rays. So you would get the temperature just right, and then at some point I don't know if you would switch out the thermometer, or the thermometer would be also in the chamber there as well. Oh, I guess it would be. Well, I don't know. And then other shades enable the operator to admit or exclude solar rays from the circular perforations at the top of the exhausted chamber. And solar rays pass through the crystal at the top. The upper hemisphere of the bulb receives the radiant energy. So it's like, it may even be the bottom half of the bulb where it's only burned at. And then the temperatures of this, like, let's see. Oh, that is the water cooling system. The temperatures so they had mercury, yet the temperature of the mercury in the instrument just described raised to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So they could heat this to very high temperatures. So this tech was totally shut down. Listen, it should be mentioned that the trial of this new Pyrheliometer has not been concluded, owing to very unfavorable atmospheric conditions since its completion. So the context there, they make it sound like, it's just been too cloudy, it's the wintertime or something. No, the atmospheric conditions is the temperature of the room, wherever this guy whatever secret star chamber this guy goes to and where they whatever they do there. Yeah, that was the atmospheric conditions he's talking about, because this is this is just un this has such huge ramifications. We can there's hope that we can recover our lost history. And we can we don't have to damage anything in trying to read holographic data from a crystal, because you're just bouncing, what is that, you're just bouncing light off of you're just bouncing light off of a crystal. And we need to know the waveform, or like what color or whatever light. I mean, there's three here. Could it have even been, like red, green, blue? Because look, these are interfering as well because they're reflected. Wow. Um, but regardless, we probably have, ways to generate light at different wavelengths, that, like, this would be the sunlight coming through whatever crystal. We should be able to simulate that today, I would believe, because this was all natural materials. It wasn't anything super exotic that we have to have today. Everything was natural materials they used. This is just unbelievable. I mean, there could be stuff sitting in museums, or shards, like, oh yeah, that's from some old jewelry and this and that. We just are keeping it around. Maybe we're gonna set it in a new ring or something. And even the smallest little shard of something, like, this was a gemstone from in our family, and then it got broken, and then they cut it and put it in this. It would still contain imagery or holographic data, theoretically. I have no doubt. This is amazing. I got so. This is just means we can theoretically recover what's been lost, or some sort of historical archive of data that could be stored in crystals, gemstones, anywhere. They could be anywhere. Um, and we, so if you know anyone who's a physicist, I would love to, this is going to be something in the back of my mind that's going to keep, oh, this is so amazing, because the amount of data that could have been stored, like, just it, I don't know. Because if there was a crystal in here, and this is a sphere, a spherical chamber that you can actually rotate, as and then maybe change out imagery, you could do what they were describing as burning multiple holograms on in a single crystal. Oh, this really could save our world. Because it's also would be it would be it would be irrefutable. It would be like, what, if you could prove that, oh, this thing has been sitting in a drawer for the last, like, 150 or 300 years. It's been in a museum untouched. How did this data get on there, right? Theoretically, you found something, okay? And it would be like our history's a lie. And then they're like, well, this is fake. How do you know it's real? Right? They could have been using this device and seeding, actually laying false data in crystals as well. Who knows? Maybe that's how they're moving hidden messages around today in the diamond mercantile exchange. Who knows? Uh, I don't care. I wanna get back what we lost. There's so much. I hope you guys get excited about this. This is really could save people, save our world. What was lost? It's still here. It hasn't been lost. It's been lost to time, but it's not destroyed, right? Because if it's in a diamond, I mean, somewhere here they describe, oh yeah, if it's in a diamond, it'll last 1,000,000 years. If the diamond's just sitting in the dirt somewhere. Unbelievable. All right, that's all. Take care.